Tonight on WEBN News, you'll get the exclusive details on the MBTA Green Line trolley crash.
Good evening, I'm Ashley Benoit.
And I'm Mike Ciccone. Welcome to WEBN News.
We have breaking news about an MBTA crash at the Boylston T-stop. Dozens were injured when two trolleys collided underground.
Now, one of the drivers was injured. MBTA spokesman Joe Pesutero has told WEBN that the agency is now looking into operator error.
Joy Powers is live outside the Boylston station to tell us what happened. Joy?
The two Green Line trolleys were headed outbound toward Boylston from Park Street Station. One trolley stopped, the other one didn't. Emily Fratchling was on the one that didn't. She saw her trolley coming for a collision.
Very weird. Now, in retrospect, I didn't realize it was such a huge deal. And then, going closer, I was like, okay, we're not going to slow down. It's going to brake really fast, like sometimes the T does. And then I was like, wow, we're about to hit it. And then it just happened.
Emergency workers rushed to the scene to help passengers. Between 100 and 200 passengers had been on the trolleys when the accident happened. 36 people were injured. 9 people were wheeled out in stretchers. They suffered possible head and neck injuries. They were taken to nearby hospitals for evaluations and treatment. The superintendent and MBTA chief John O'Connor has said no one appeared to have life-threatening injuries.
Shortly before noon, we received a call that there was a trolley made contact with a two-car trolley that was on the platform here at the station. Transit police along with EMS and Boston Fire responded and discovered that an accident had occurred. There were a number of injured. EMS and Fire escorted individuals out of the station. Currently, transit police were conducting an investigation into the facts and circumstances of what occurred here today.
Boston EMS Chief James Hooley believes the crash could have been worse.
Initially, when they extricated up about 9 patients that required some immobilization, neck injuries, loaded them up, transported them off. All the rest, there was about another 26 that we evaluated for minor injuries, bumps, contusions, and we brought them over. The T provided a bus for us to get them out of the cold weather, and we're evaluating them, and they're being distributed to hospitals in Boston as well.
The station was closed for several hours while authorities investigated the crash. It reopened mid-afternoon with few delays. Live in Boston, I'm Joy Powers for WEBN News.
Katie O'Donnell is here with us to tell us how the medical emergency was handled.
Now, Katie, we understand Boylston Street was blocked with both ambulances and police cars.
That's right. Boston's finest responded quickly to the accident. Deputy Fire Chief Richard DiBenedetto and first responders took quick action.
There were no extrications, there was no derailment, and there was no fire. So it basically became a medical issue, and we then began transporting people above to EMS.
Right now, it's unknown how many of those injured will be staying in the hospital. Back to you, Mike.
Now, today's crash was not the first for the MBTA. 2 previous crashes occurred in the past 4 years. Back in May of 2008, the driver of a Green Line trolley fell asleep. The operator was killed when the trolley crashed into a parked trolley in Newton. Now, one of the passengers was seriously injured. $8 million in damage was reported. Now, just another year later, that crash happened, this time at the Government Center T-stop. The driver of a Green Line trolley was texting and slammed into another trolley in the tunnel. 68 people were hurt. The damage total, $10 million. After the break, we will hear from Political Pulse.
We'll also have your international news. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Sometimes we forget that Boston is home to entertainment news just like New York City and Los Angeles.
That's right. Shannon Dwyer has some of that local entertainment news for us tonight.
Thanks. It's that time of year again. Harvard University's Hasty Pudding Woman of the Year title went to actress Marion Cotillard. You might recognize her from the last year's Oscar-nominated film Midnight in Paris. Cotillard was featured in a parade in Cambridge's Harvard Square, where she caught a teddy bear from a crowd of fans. After the procession, she was roasted at the Hasty Pudding headquarters. She sang a piece from La Vie en Rose, where she played French singer Edith Piaf. The Pudding Pot is an annual award given to performers who made a lasting contribution to entertainment. It looks like David Letterman is getting his wish. Letterman isn't famous for his Governor Chris Christie fat jokes, but the New York Jersey politician is more than happy to make his first appearance on Letterman's late night show. Christie says he could not care less about how offensive the fat jokes are as long as they're funny. Now we go to our sports correspondent Lucas Frankel to learn more about the latest news in the sports world.
Thanks. It's the battle of the Harbaugh brothers, Jim, the coach of the 49ers, and John, the coach of the Ravens, squaring off against each other in Super Bowl 47. They both knew it wasn't going to be easy in the Big Easy. There's Jim and John Harbaugh before the game, and there's Ray Lewis for the final time pumping up his Baltimore Ravens. We'll start in the first quarter. Joe Flacco finds Anquan Bolden, and the Ravens take the early lead. They would lead 21-6 going into the half. And to start the second half, it would be Jacoby Jones breaking free for a Super Bowl record 108-yard kickoff return for a touchdown on a play that would set 3 Super Bowl records on its own. The Ravens' lead grows further. But what happens here? Half of the stadium's lights suddenly lose power. The game would be delayed for 34 minutes and swing momentum to San Francisco. Down by 8 here. Colin Kaepernick rolls left, takes it in for the score, and the 49ers, just like that, have a chance to tie the game. 2-point conversion attempt. Kaepernick looking for Randy Moss. No dice on that one, but they would get one last chance to win the game. 4th and goal from the 5. Kaepernick looking for Michael Crabtree. Incomplete. And for the second time in franchise history, the Baltimore Ravens are Super Bowl champions.
The meeting with Jim in the middle was probably the most difficult thing I've ever done or ever been associated with in my life. I'm proud of him. It's a great joy, but it was also the most difficult thing in the world to understand that he's over there. I just think Jim's a great competitor. And I mean, I don't just love him, obviously. Like, I think anybody out there who has a brother can understand what that's all about. So it's nothing that anybody can't understand. I just believe in him. I have so much respect for him. I admire him. I look up to him in so many ways, and I'm hurting for him in that sense, yes.
It's a good thing fans in the Northeast like their hockey rowdy. The New York Rangers traveled to Boston to face the Bruins in an original 6 matchup. It would be the last time these two teams square off in the regular season. A win for the Bees will put them back atop the Eastern Conference standings. There's Coach Claude Julien, the Bruins looking to beat the Rangers in Boston. We start in the first period, and Rick Nash, watch this pass from his stomach to Carl Hagelin, who finishes it off. Rangers take their early lead. Later, still 1-0. Derek Stepan fires a wrister past Tuukka Rask. Rangers lead 2-0. 3-1 Rangers late in the third. And Nathan Horton will get the rebound here, put it behind Lundqvist, and the Bruins trail by 1. They still need one more goal, though. Brad Marchand right here off the deflected pass, gets it past Lundqvist. We are tied. What a comeback by the Bruins, and we would go to a shootout. But Ryan Callan has a chance to win it for the Rangers. He beats Tuukka Rask, and the Rangers hold on. They win 4-3 in a shootout. That's your sports. Back to you.
The bragging rights are on ice again, on the hill again. The Boston College Eagles are the 2013 Beanpot champions for the 4th straight year.
As WEBN's Mike Ciccone shows us, it's more than just a hockey game.
It means winning every year in a row.
And winning is what they do at Boston College. The Eagles outscored the Northeastern Huskies 6-3 at this year's Beanpot final. BC fan favorite Johnny Gaudreau scored 2 goals.
Johnny Gaudreau is the best player out there, throwing some fettuccine Alfredo out in front of the net.
Despite Gaudreau's performance, it was Northeastern freshman Kevin Waugh who was named Beanpot MVP. He had a pair of goals for the Huskies and a hat trick in the team's first-round victory over Boston University. BC goalie Parker Milner had high praise for Waugh.
Maybe he's got a little Johnny Gaudreau in him. He's skilled. He battles really hard, and to put those together, that's a pretty solid player.
College hockey's winningest coach, BC's Jerry York, says the Beanpot is part of the college's culture.
A big emphasis at our school in winning Beanpots, and we had a tough stretch there for a while in the 70s, 80s, 90s.
But all 4 of these teams, we love playing each other every time we get the chance to.
It's everything to BC. This is what we're good at. This is what we're about. And this is our identity. This is who we are. And this is Boston College right here.
And this is the 2013 Beanpot champion team. At the Garden, Mike Ciccone, WEBN Boston.
BC is already the defending national champions, having won 3 of the last 5 NCAA titles.
Coming up next, we have a weather update for you.
Stay with us.
They have been rehearsing 10 hours a day for a month straight, and it's all for the inaugural parade. For the first time in 48 years, the Boston Crusaders Drum and Bugle Corps has been chosen to perform in front of the president.
Initially, it was kind of a little shocking, kind of surprising.
20 volunteers flew to Washington, D.C. to help, and half of them are parents.
For the last month, I have been taking measurements both in Florida, where I live, and via internet, and assigning uniforms to these kids. And so the last day and a half, we've made sure they all fit them.
One of those wearing a color guard uniform came especially from overseas. Jennifer Rohrer applied for Boston Crusaders from her native Germany.
Knowing that I'm not American, it's kind of like an honor to be here and represent Europe in a way and, connect the two continents.
All 140 members of the Corps flew from different parts of the country. Tom Spatera is an executive producer for the Crusaders. He says this trip will cost about $30,000, but he believes the experience is much worth it.
I saw a couple of them at the airport when I got here yesterday, and I asked them if they were excited, and they said, we're going to play for the ruler of the free world. Of course we're excited.
Members of the Boston Crusader Drum Corps will see each other next time only in the beginning of the summer before their traditional tour in Florida. Now they're taking days off. I'm Katia Bylkina for WEBN News Boston from Washington, D.C.
More and more yoga is being used to heal PTSD. Our reporter Katia Bylkina is live in downtown Boston to tell us why this is becoming popular. Katia?
Thanks, Ariana. Yes, the post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, has been named one of the most dangerous threats in the military. But some veterans are putting their appeals down and reconnecting with their bodies and souls through yoga.
It was like I was able to cry again. I didn't even realize I wasn't able to do or feel certain things.
Stephanie Riddle is a veteran. She has served in Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003 and 2004. She has PTSD. So does veteran Mark Yablonsky.
You become aggressive and you forget what you learned back in being a civilian. And then yoga really enabled me to maintain a calmness, to really center myself and learn how to breathe.
Yablonsky was a Navy officer in Iraq for almost 6 months. His life is getting better since he has started yoga. Riddle also faced challenges after coming back from combat, but she did not want to go on medications.
I was told by numerous friends that, you need to seek counseling, this, that, and the other. Now I feel calmer, I'm not as angry, I'm not as aggressive, I'm not as reactive.
Everyone in this class has been in the military, even an instructor, Paul Bradley. He has started yoga to deal with his own trauma. Now he's helping other veterans.
The way I give back to the community is teaching other veterans. I can relate to them more than other yoga teachers. I understand the mindset that a lot of veterans have coming out of the service.
Life breaks you down. You gotta learn how to build yourself back up again.
There and Back Again is a non-profit organization. As a part of its program, the Charleston Yoga Studio offers veterans free yoga on Saturday afternoon. I'm Katia Bylkina, reporting live from Boston.